So Anthropic just launched ready to run Claude agent templates for financial services, and it allows you to build pitches, conduct valuation reviews, and close the books at the end of the month, along with much, much more that we're going to get into in just a second. They say install them as plugins in Cowork and Claude Code, or use our cookbooks to run them in production as managed agents. I really love managed agents, and I think managed agents are going to be super huge in the future as more people catch on to them and realize the power of managed agents. So you now have the ability to get ahead in finance while using agents and sub agents inside of Claude, right? Cowork and Claude Code, and literally be ahead of the curve when it comes to finance with this technology. So let's get into it. Agents for financial services. Look at what we have here. We're releasing 10 ready to run agent templates for the most time consuming work in financial services, which are building pitch books, screening KYC files, and closing the books at the end of the month. Each one ships as a plugin in Claude Work and Claude Code, and as a cookbook for Claude Managed Agents, so a team can put Claude on real financial work in days rather than months. The timeline for everything is shrinking right now. So, as some of you may know, Claude right now works across Microsoft applications like Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and Outlook is coming soon. But that's all possible through the Claude add-ins for Microsoft 365, right? And once the add-ins are installed, though, context carries automatically between the applications, so you don't have to worry about context fall off or whatever. So that allows the work to start in a model and can end in a deck without re-explaining everything in between. And with that, we have an MCP app that is coming that Anthropic says, so agents can draw on the data financial professionals already use, right? And connectors give Claude governed real time access to a provider's data, and MCP apps go a step further by embedding the provider's own tools directly inside of Claude. So they are just recommending here to use Opus 4.7 because they believe that's the best model for them right now. So I want to show you guys the full list of new agents, right? So you have Pitch Builder, creates target lists, runs comparables, and drafts pitch books for client meetings. You have Meeting Preparer, assembles client and counterparty briefs ahead of calls. You have Earnings Reviewer, reads transcripts and filings, updates models, and flags thesis relevant changes. You have the Model Builder, which creates and maintains financial models from filings, data feeds, and analyst inputs. You have Market Researcher, which tracks sector and issuer developments, synthesizes news, filings, and broker research, and flags items for credit and risk review. Under finance and operations, you have Valuation Reviewer, which checks valuations against comparables, methodology, and firms' review standards. You have General Ledger Reconciler, reconciles general ledger accounts and runs net asset value calculations against the books of record. You have month end closer, runs the close checklist, prepares journal entries, and produces close reports. You have statement auditor, which reviews financial statements for consistency, completeness, and audit readiness. And you have KYC screener, which assembles entity files, reviews source documents, and packages escalations for compliance review. So this is pretty huge in my opinion, and this opens up a big opportunity for businesses, individuals who want to get ahead in finance and utilize this AI technology. So, managed agent here, which I love, right? They say as a Claude managed agent, the same template runs autonomously on the Claude platform for work that spans a whole book of deals or a nightly schedule. The cookbooks stand it up with the building blocks a firm would otherwise engineer themselves, long running sessions that can work throughout a multi hour deal close, per tool permissions, managed credential vaults, and a full audit log in the Claude console where compliance and engineering teams can inspect every tool, call, and decision. So, once again, this goes with the mantra that humans are really being pulled out of the loop. And are being used for just mainly review, right? This just seems so similar to what Coinbase did today, uh, getting rid of 14% of their workforce because they want to get ahead of AI. And they're talking about moving to single human, like one person teams. And it's because of the capabilities that AI has. So Claude can work directly inside of Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and Outlook. In Outlook, it can act as a chief of staff. In Excel, it builds financial models from filings and data feeds. In PowerPoint, it drafts decks and update automatically, right? In Word, it edits credit memos against a firm's own templates. So Excel doesn't need to re-explain it when it has all of this context coming from Claude. You literally have everything all working together. MCPs are the reason for that. And MCPs are going to be so important going forward in the future in this AI world. So the broadcast ecosystem for financial services. AI agents are only as good as the data and context they can access. That's why Claude connects to dozens of market data, research platforms, and financial companies' internal systems, including FactSet, S&P Capital, IQ, MSCI, PitchBook, Morningstar, Chronograph, LSEG, Dalupa. And when you look down here, right, they have this MCP app surface custom where they're going to have interactive UI directly within Claude. They say we're now adding connectors and an MCP app for new partners. The new connectors give direct real-time access to market and research data. They have DNB, Dun and Bradstreet. They have Fiscal AI, Financial Modeling Prep, GuidePoint, IBIS World, SS&C Interlinks, Third Bridge, Verisk, and they even say Moody's has launched an MCP app. So you can just see the possibilities here, right? They say many leading banks, asset managers, and insurers choose Claude. It supports the full range of these organizations' work: front office tasks like research and client experience, middle office work and underwriting, risk and compliance, and back office work like code modernization and operations. Excuse me. You got Citadel saying our investment professionals live in data and analytical models, and Claude for Excel meets them there. So, like, you can literally see the AI is taking off and is being integrated in almost every single aspect of life you can possibly think of. And right now, we're moving into finance here, and it goes to show there's really going to be no avenue or no area that AI is not going to inject itself in. And Anthropic knows that. And that's why they're pushing forward with finance, with these new financial services here, allowing for ready to run Claude agent templates for building all of these financial things that you need. So, last thing in this video, I want to show you really quickly that I meant to show you guys yesterday, but I was too caught up with the Unity stuff, is Claude devs put this out. Managing API keys is one of the top security concerns we hear from customers. And a lot of people vibe coding nowadays are just slapping their API keys into environment variables, pushing them to GitHub, and then getting all of their credentials literally just stolen from them because they just do not understand secrets. They don't understand how to basically hide their keys in a safe way where it's not exposed to the public. A lot of these people have public repos at that. The repos aren't private, and they don't understand when they go look at their bill and it's jacked up to the highest degree, but I digress. So they say today we're introducing keyless auth for Claude platform. Authenticate via browser with the CLI or let workloads use their existing cloud identity. So I just want to show you really quickly here what it's about. Workload Identity Federation. Workload Identity Federation lets your workloads authenticate to the Cloud API using short-lived OpenID Connect, which is OIDC tokens issued by an identity provider you already operate, such as AWS, Google Cloud, etc. So Your workload presents a signed JWT from your identity provider. Anthropic validates it against trust rules you configure in the Claude console and returns a short-lived Anthropic access token bound to a service account in your organization. There are no static secrets to mint, store in CI, rotate, or leak. I kind of think this is going to be huge, and it's going to be the way to- uh, uh, tokens are going to go, like API keys are going to go in the future, just because people don't have the security mindset and just don't know what to do and are going to just follow simple structural rules instead of taking the extra step of securing their keys. So I think this is pretty interesting. It says here Workload Identity Federation strengthens your security posture by removing static credentials from Anthropic's surface and replacing them with tokens that expire in minutes rather than never, because that is an option. You can have uh, your keys just literally never expire if you choose to. It is not a complete security story on its own. They state, federated authentication is only as strong as the upstream identity provider that signs the JWT. Pair workload identity federation with controls your identity provider already supports, and use that for defense in depth. So Anthropic's really shipping here. They're really focusing and honing in on security, of course. That's one of their avenues that they've um, piggybacked hard on and really been pushing for. And this finance thing is just next level to me. I mean, you even have Citadel saying, look, we're using Claude for Excel, and this is where our professionals live, right? And this is where our professionals live in data, and Claude for Excel meets them there. Analysts are using it to build and update coverage models, separate signal from noise, and pressure test their work, all with a step change in efficiency. So, as you can see, AI is allowing businesses as well as individuals do things that they just never could have done before. It's transcending the limits of what can be done, and it's pushing a lot of these businesses, as we can see, toward smaller teams because the AI is just replacing the workflow and the workload, and they just are choosing not to pay people to do things that the AI can do cheaper, better, faster, more efficiently than paying a human can do. It's just the reality of it. Do I like it? Not particularly, but in this world, you kind of have to adapt and adopt, or else you're going to get left behind. And that's why I'm making this video. So there you have it. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel. If you have any suggestions for videos you want to see in the future, let me know down in the comment section below. If you guys want to hear about my opinion on the Coinbase thing or the Coinbase news, let me know. I'll make a video on that. I'm kind of teeter-tottering on whether I should make that because there's so many other update videos I want to talk about, like 5.5 instant and Gemma 4 becoming faster, and Grok, the newest Grok model being in available for the API, and Cursor, and so many other things. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.